containers in it. Could you bring that? We're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 10, The Departure of Lord Krishna for Dwarka, text number 11 to 12. Satsangan Muktadu Sango Hatum Nat Sahate Buddha Krityamanam Isho Yasya Sakrit Akarnya Rochanam Tasmin Yasta Diya Parta Sahiran Viharam Katam Darshana Sparsha Samlapa Shayana Sana Bhojanai Satsangan Muktadu Sango Hantum Nat Sahate Buddha Krityamanam Nisho Yasya Sakrit Akarnya Rochanam Tasmin Yastadiyak Parta Sahiran Viraham Katam Darshana Sparsha Samlapa Shana Yasana Bhojanai. Hatumna Sahane Buddha Krityamanam Isho Yasya Sakrita Karnya Rochanam Tasmin Yastadiya Parata Sahiran Viharanham Katam Darshana Sparsha Samlapa Shayanasana Bhojanai. Ladies, Satsanga Muktadu Sango Hantum Na Sahate Buddha Kritamana Misho Yasya Sakrita Karnya Rochanam Tasmin Yastadiyak Parata Sahiran Viraham Kata Darshana Sparsha Samlapa Sharanasana Bhojanai. Sat Sangat. By the association of pure devotees. Mukta Doshanga. Freed from bad materialistic association. Hantum, to give up. Na utsahate, never attempts. Buddha, one who has understood the Lord. Kirtyamanam, glorifying. Yasha, fame. Yasya, whose. Sakrit, once only. Akaranya, hearing only. Rochanam, pleasing. Tasmin, unto him. Nyastadiya, one who has given his mind unto him. Partha, the sons of Pritha. Sahiran, can tolerate. Viraham, separation. Katam, how. Darshana, face to face, seeing face to face. Sparsha, touching. Samlapa, conversing. Shayana, sleeping. Asana, sitting. Bhojana, dining together. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The intelligent who have understood the Supreme Lord in association with pure devotees and have become freed from bad materialistic association can never avoid hearing the glories of the Lord, even though they have heard them only once. How, then, could the Pandavas tolerate his separation? For they had been intimately associated with his person, seeing him face to face, touching him, conversing with him, and sleeping, sitting, and dining with him. Please repeat. The intelligent, who have understood the Supreme Lord in association with pure devotees, have become freed from bad materialistic association, can never avoid hearing the glories of the Lord, even though they have heard them only once. How then could the Pandavas tolerate his separation? For they had been intimately associated with his person, seeing him face to face, touching him, conversing with him, and sleeping, sitting, and dining with him. Purport. The living being's constitutional position is one of serving a superior. He is obliged to serve by force the dictates of illusory material energy in different phases of sense gratification. And in serving the senses, he is never tired. Even though he may be tired, the illusory energy perpetually forces him to do so without being satisfied. There is no end to such sense gratifying business, and the conditioned soul becomes entangled in such servitude without hope of release. The release is only effected by association with pure devotees. By such association, one is gradually promoted to his transcendental consciousness. Thus he can know that his eternal position is to render service unto the Lord, and not to the perverted senses and the capacity of lust, anger, desire to lord it over, etc. Materialistic society, friendship, and love are all different phases of lust. Home, country, family, society, wealth, and all sorts of corollaries are all causes of bondage in the material world, where the threefold miseries of life are concomitant factors. By associating with pure devotees and by hearing them submissively, attachment for material enjoyment becomes slackened, and attraction for hearing about the transcendental activities of the Lord becomes prominent. Once they will go on progressively without stoppage, like fire and gunpowder. It is said that Hari, the personality of Godhead, is so transcendently attractive that even those who are self-satisfied by self-realization and are factually liberated from all material bondage also become devotees of the Lord. Under the circumstances, it is easily understood what must have been the position of the Pandavas, who were constant companions of the Lord. They could not even think of separation from Sri Krishna, since the attraction was more intense for them because of continuous personal contact. His remembrance by his form, quality, name, fame, pastimes, etc., is also attractive for the pure devotee. So much so that he forgets all forms, quality, name, fame, and activities of the mundane world. And due to his mature association with pure devotees, he is not out of contact with the Lord for a moment. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharane Nirvishesha Srinivadi Paskhadyade Satarne. In the Bhagavad Gita, after Krishna mentions that he's the Supreme and that everything comes from him, he says, Much Chita, much Gata Prana, Bodhiyantash Parashparam, Gatanyantash Ramam Nityam, Tushanti Cha Ramanti Cha. That the thoughts of my pure devotees, they dwell in me. In other words, as much as we become pure devotees, and to that extent, then our minds will be dwelling in Krishna. Or as Krishna says, Sarvabhutastam Atmanam, Sarvabhutani Chatmani, Ikshate Yoga Yuktatma, Sarvatra Samadarshanaha, Yomam Pashati Sarvatra, Sarvam Chamai Pashati, Tasyaham Na Pranashami, Satchamam Na Pranashati. For the true yogi, he sees me in all beings, all living beings, and also sees me everywhere. For indeed, the self-realized soul, the true yogi sees me in all beings and sees everything in me. Indeed, the self-realized soul sees me everywhere. And for one who sees me everywhere and sees everything in me, I am never lost to him, nor is he ever lost to me. So Krishna consciousness is not something artificial in one sense that we have to try to force our minds to think about Krishna. Of course, that's not bad either. It's better than allowing our minds to think of other things. But at the more advanced stage, out of natural love for Krishna, one cannot help but seeing Krishna everywhere. And Krishna repeats that in many ways. Samam pashanti sarvatra, samam pashati ishwaram, nihinastyatmanat. Samam pashanti sarvatra, sama vistitam ishwaram, nihinastyatmanatmanam tatoyati param gitim. Samam pashanti sarvatra, sama vastitam ishwaram, nihinastyatmanat osi. Samam sarveshu bhuteshu tishtantam parameshwaram, Navashavana shantam yak pashati sapashati. Samam pashani sarvatra samam bhasitam isram. Nihinastyatmanatmanam tatoyati param gitim. Samam sarveshu bhuteshu. That one who can see that the living entities are everywhere. Samam sarveshu bhuteshu tishtantam parameshwaram. And sees also the super soul there. And who knows that neither the super soul nor the soul within the destructible body is ever destroyed, he can actually see. In other words, whatever is happening in the material world is a combination of the soul, the super soul, and the material energy. The soul desires, and Krishna through his energies, manifested desires in forms of our different activities known as karma. Under the control of time, which is Krishna, and under the control of the three modes, which is controlled by time, the activities called karma come into being. So we're destined by Kala to have a certain body, and that body is destined, according to the modes of material nature, to perform certain activities. That's called, so, and then by performing those activities, we're destined to receive the results of those activities. Now, under the direction of Krishna as Paramatma, then it's possible that we can perform activities of devotional service and come under the spiritual energy. And those are not very difficult. Daivi prakriti ashritya. Mahatmanas tumam parta. Daivi prakriti ashritya. Bhujatnana manaso gyatva bhutadim aviyam. Sadatam kirtayanto mam yatantas chadridavrataha. Namasyantasrimam bhaktya nityukta upasade. Those who are actually great souls, Mahatmas, great Atmas, diving we can tell they're under the spell of the spiritual energy because they're fully engaged in Krishna's service. And what is that service? They're always chanting Krishna's name. They're endeavoring with determination. They're bowing down before him. These great souls perpetually worship Krishna with devotion. They've understood that this cowherd boy in Vrindavan is not some ordinary personality. They're not mudhas. They don't think the material nature is just is moving by accident. They know there's supreme intelligence behind everything. And therefore they're not bewildered. They know what the goal is. They're not trying to utilize their body for sense gratification or utilize their minds for mental speculation. They're not trying to achieve power in the material world. Instead, they're interested in coming under the spiritual energy by the process of chanting and serving and developing a mood of submission and love for Krishna. Now, the obstacle for that, of course, is kamarinam kati na katidam palitas durdideshas tesham jatamayi na karuna na trapa nopashanti utsrijatam yatapate utsrijatamam yatapate sampratam lababudis tvam ayanam mam sharanam abhayam nirukshvatmadasye. So, kamadinam. We're so used to being conditioned by the illusory energy that we take it as completely normal. So, kam adinam. So, if there's kam, if there's lust, then naturally there'll be eventually greed and anger and illusion and forgetfulness and loss of intelligence. They follow one after another. We can have our loving affairs, so-called loving affairs, outside of Krishna consciousness, of course, and think that there won't be any greed or lust or illusion or forgetfulness or loss of intelligence, that somehow or another we can escape that because it's true love. And all the products of that true love we take as ours. So we've been encouraged to accept this type of mentality. Idam adyamaya labdvam imam prapse manoritam idam astiyam apime bhavishati purardhanam asomaya hatakshatro hanishe chapuranapi ishvaraham hambogi siraham balavan sukhi ajo bijanavanasmi kanyosti sadrisho maya yaksheda shami modisha itya ganavi mohitaha. So this is what we have to look for in our consciousness. Generally we have a certain mood caused by the illusory energy, and we just take it as ourselves. It's completely natural. It's just we feel as ourselves what I'm actually supposed to be feeling. But actually, Krishna doesn't agree that the soul has a completely different mood, a completely different experience. Than we're a soul living a material experience. We're not a living material experience as a soul. The soul is not our present experience. And what is that? Idam adya maya labdam imam prapse manoritam. So much wealth do I have, and I'll get more and more in the future. So much is mine, and I'll flourish more and more. Bhavishati punardanam. So much is mine, I'll get more and more in the future. So much wealth do I have, and I'll get more and more and more. He is my enemy, and I have killed him. And all my other enemies, they'll also be killed. I am the Lord of everything. I am perfect. I am powerful. I am happy. I am surrounded by rich and aristocratic relatives. I will perform some sacrifice. I will give some charity, and thus I'll rejoice. In this way, the demoniac are bewildered by ignorance. So this is considered very respectable. Killing your enemies, gaining more and more wealth, feeling oneself to be proud. There's no question of somehow or another having a, what do they call that? What's that? Low esteem. No question of low esteem. I'm proud, I'm powerful, I'm happy. And anyone connected to me should also be proud, powerful, and happy. But it's all illusory because we're not this body. And according to our mentality, at the time of death, we get our next body. So if we glorify accumulating wealth out of lust, killing our enemies out of anger, feeling ourselves perfect and powerful and happy out of illusion, then this is just a manifestation of the illusory energy. Therefore, kamarinam, kati, na katidam. In so many different ways, the material nature is inspiring us to become more and more involved in our illusory material existence, thinking that somehow or another I'm achieving something in this dreamlike world we're living in. Palita. And what is it? Palita means we're being servants. We're being forced to do so many different things. And if we don't do that, material nature will torture us, put us into a lamentation that why aren't you serving me? Why are you respecting your false ego? Why are you denying? Why are you self-abnegating yourself? Why not feel proud of who you are? Get others to respect you. This is the goal of life. That when you die, people come to your grave and cry over it. Oh, he was such a great person. Where he is now, we have no idea. He may have become a dog somewhere, but anyhow, he was a great person while he was here. Prabhupada said that one astrologer said that Nehru, who's like the prime minister in India for like 19 years or something, one astrologer said that after he left his body, he became one of 2 dogs in Sweden. Not only took birth as a dog, but he had to share his dog bowl with another dog. And this was the result of so much sincere endeavor to have his name go down in history, that he was the savior of India. And now, who knows what kind of dog he is now. So therefore, this is called politas. Material nature is demanding. If we don't serve you, I'm going to make you feel very bad. If you don't serve me, I'm going to make you feel very bad. Your senses, your mind, everything will become feeling bad. Therefore, Krishna doesn't say that austerity is sometimes going to feel good. Instead, he says, that which in the beginning may be bitter like poison, and the end is like nectar, and which awakens one to self-realization, is said to be happiness in the mode of goodness. Now he's going to tell us, maybe that's 17th chapter. What's that? What is it? Oh, that's right. It's the end after you get sukha, what the happiness is. Yat tadagre vishamiva parinamim ritopamam tat sukham sapikam proktam atmabuddhi prasadajam. That which in the beginning is bitter like poison, and the end is like nectar, and which awakens one to self-realization, is said to be happiness in the mode of goodness. So we're not expected that we just chant Hare Krishna, we just float back to Godhead. There's not going to be any testing, no tolerance, no austerity. Just eat your way back to Godhead. Eat so much prasadam that you have to roll on the ground like a duck. And then you go back to Godhead. No, there has to be some kind of austerity. And that's to tolerate. Saknoti haiva yakshodum prakshariri mokshada kama kroda bhavan vega suyukta sasuki nara. Before giving this present body, if one is able to tolerate the urges of the senses and check the force of desire and anger, he is a yogi and he's happy in this world. So the senses will demand palita, but their demands are dura nidesha. Very bad for us to follow. A certain amount we have to follow. We can't deny eating or sleeping or even mating and defending under proper circumstances, but it should be done in Krishna consciousness, not just whimsically. And tesham jata. So from them, jata means expanding from them, tesham from them, not karuna. The senses are never merciful. They don't say, oh my dear soul, you're suffering so much, I'll just stop demanding from you. You've eaten so much, now you're sick, but I'll never ask you to do that again. You're sleeping so much, now you're completely in ignorance, depressed, but I'll never ask you to sleep so much again. You're having sex like a pigeon, and in your next lifetime you're going to become a pigeon, so I'll remind you not to do this anymore. Don't be in anxiety. I won't put you in anxiety. Everything's all right. You're a spirit soul. The material nature will never say that. It's not merciful to us. It's not thinking, oh, my poor soul, I don't like to see you entangled. I'll never misdirect you again. I'll only tell you what Krishna says. Material nature will never do that. She's there to serve our whims, our false desires, our imaginations. And she provides very nicely for us. But she's not merciful, really. Not trapa. And there's no shame. People are like hogs or dogs or camels or asses. They don't feel any shame. They're proud of how much they eat. They're proud of how long they sleep. They're proud of how much sex they can have. They're proud of how many enemies they've killed. They're proud of it all. The internet is just full of people, lusty people, angry people, crazy people. Normal people are not very much appreciated. Sane people who control their senses are definitely not appreciated. Natrapa, na karuna, no pushanti. And there's no end to it. Now I'm serving my senses, I'm eating like a hog. So Krishna will be very kind to me. In my next lifetime, I'll become a hog. And I won't have to have, a dinner table. I won't have to go out and work for my food. I won't have to clean up afterwards. No, it'll all be nicely provided to me. Every day I get it fresh and hot. And my whole family is served out for free. No one comes to steal my food either. I can leave it overnight and it's safe. A little cold, but it's safe. Utrijaitam. So now I'm giving it up. Yatapate. Oh, the head of the Yadu dynasty. Utrijata yatapate. Utrijata mam yapatate. Atta yapatate. Yadupate. Sampratam. Because now, Sampratam is translated now. Labha Buddhis. I've obtained some real knowledge, some real intelligence, that I'm eternal. I have to take shelter of the Supersoul. I have to become conscious of Krishna. I've gained that intelligence. Now I don't have to serve lust, anger, greed, and its corollaries. As much as I take shelter of Krishna and utilize my spiritual intelligence, I become free from so much misery, so many problems. Samprate labha buddhis. Tvam ayatam, ayanam, abhayam, sharanam, udyukshasvadasye. So now I'm taking shelter of you who are fearless. Abhayam, sharanam, I'm taking shelter. Niyukshvatmadasi, please engage me in your service. So this has to be our desire if we want to get free from the miseries of material existence. If we don't believe there's such a thing as spiritual existence, and we're enjoying the material existence, then devotional service is not very attractive. If we think we're having a great time, and in the future, every year they come up with a new upgrade for iPhone or whatever, or Android, and next year our games are going to become even more dramatic. We're going to kill something on the internet, and the blood will squirt all over my computer. It'll be so realistic. I won't have to eat anymore. I'll just be in a world where I can have a supermarket, or I won't have to sleep anymore. I'll just enter into the world of the bed and sit there for days. And whatever all the apsaras in my computer will come, I'll be able to enjoy with them in the Nandakandana forest virtually. And all my enemies, I'll just push a button and they'll all disappear. I'm the Lord of everything, perfect, powerful, and happiness. And by modern technology and by material advancement of AT, everything all my desires will be fulfilled forever. They'll computerize my brain and store it away, so I'll be able to live in a computer perpetually until the end of Kali Yuga. So this is all imagination. It's all crazy imagination, because people have no idea who they actually are, nor are they interested, because material nature is not going to tell them. Only the devotees will tell them who they are. Only devotees will tell them that you're actually a spiritual being. You're not that body. You're not this body. You're actually an eternal soul who has the good fortune of having the most intelligent companion within your heart, can direct you towards eternal bliss and knowledge if you listen to his instructions. People don't know that. Nate vidu swartagatim hi Vishnu, darashaya ye bahir arthamanina. In this age, they have no idea that there's a God and that his name is Krishna or Yehovah. They have no idea what's going on. They're just being attracted to insignificant things, paying people millions of dollars to kick a ball into a net. And people think, this is my hero, this is my leader. I must go out and learn how to kick that ball also if I want to make any advancement in life. I was hearing a tape a number of times. Prabhupada was saying that Govinda Dasi showed me a picture in Hawaii of people surfing. He said, then Prabhupada said, how much they're wasting their time jumping in the water. Prabhupada one time called the surfers sufferers. They're not surfing, they're suffering. But they don't know, they have no idea. This is their highest taste. Riding the wave, then crashing, breaking your neck, and then being proud, showing all your friends the cast that you got, having them sign it, yes, good. Therefore one has to hear about Krishna, much chitta, much kata, prana, and then engage one's energies in Krishna's service. The whole idea of hearing is not just as a entertainment to hear about Krishna's pastimes with his devotees, and we ourselves are just eating popcorn while we hear it like it's a movie or something, it's an entertainment. No, so that we can actually engage our senses, our mind in Krishna's service. Prana and chitta in Krishna's service. And then the result is that gradually we get liberation, tu shanti. We feel satisfied. Things are becoming clearer. I'm not this body, I'm not this mind. How much I've been serving this whims of my mind, this misconception of who I think I am. How much I'm attached to this idea that I am this body and this false ego. And it's revealed to us it's not always so pleasant, but it's an opportunity to actually become purified, to give it up. Labha Buddhas, if we obtain that intelligence, then usrijaitam mam yadupate nikshvat madasye. Then I'm willing to become your servant. So therefore it's a great opportunity to shanti first, when we feel satisfied that actually these dictation of my false ego, which is causing me to act in so many unwanted ways, causing me to do so many different things to make my false ego feel good, and nothing to make me feel good. All superficial. No one else feels good about my false ego being good. Matter of fact, people give me problems. It's not that I feel good, my false ego makes me feel good and everyone loves me now. No, the more false ego we have, the more people become envious of us. Because if you become a pure devotee, they're also envious. But they're envious for the wrong reasons. We're serving our false ego. It's competition. In the mode of ignorance, the competition is who owns more? Who's the biggest controller? And the mode of passion, who's the biggest enjoyer? How do we learn how to enjoy whatever we have? And the mode of goodness, who's the biggest savior from the people trying to enjoy and control? And transcendental, I'm simply a humble servant to the servants of Krishna, simply an instrument. I have no credit for what I'm doing. Actually, if there's any credit that goes for my being under the spiritual energy, it goes because somehow or another I'm connected with someone who's actually under the spiritual energy. And by their mercy, because they're connected with the parampara, therefore I'm getting a chance to engage my senses if I agree to surrender to them and serve them in all circumstances. Become a humble servant. Or as Prabhupada said, it writes in the Bhagavad Gita, that Krishna, that knowledge of Krishna consciousness is coming in disciple succession. The path of religion is directly enunciated by the Lord. Oh, I'm not going to take breakfast. Therefore, mental speculation, dry arguments cannot help one progress one on the path. Can help one progress in spiritual life. One has to approach a bona fide spiritual master in line of disciple succession from the Lord himself. One should accept such a spiritual master in full surrender. And one should serve the spiritual master without false prestige. Satisfaction of the self-realized spiritual master is a secret of advancement in spiritual life. One should be able to pass the test of the spiritual master, and when the spiritual master sees the genuine desire of the disciple, he automatically blesses him with genuine spiritual understanding. So we think it's all going to be smooth, and I'm going to associate with devotees. They're all going to massage my false ego as soon as I come. Oh, you have such a nice false ego. We love you so much. You're doing is perfect, whatever you're doing. We're never going to suggest anything to you. You're satisfying your senses in an exemplary way. We love you for whoever you are. Never tell you anything that would harm your false ego or excited, or you don't have to do any austerity. You got initiated. You threw your grains in the fire. You got your beads. You've chanted. You've got another name. You're going back to Godhead. Your spiritual master is so merciful. Just do whatever you want. No test. No austerity. You're free. Or as Prabhupada once said, he was chanting his rounds. He got up to 16 rounds, and he threw his beads on the table. Said, now I've finished my 16 rounds, and I can do any damn thing I want. Unfortunately, that's not the way it works. Or maybe fortunately, I don't know. It depends how you look at it. Anyhow, I'll stop here. Any questions or comments? Actually, the most peaceful time of the day is when we ask for questions. Everyone stops thinking. All right. Thank you very much. Kuala Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur Premanande.